and good morning. Today is Tuesday, November the 10th, and this is Urban Talk Radio 103.5 FM, where you will hear conversation, inspiration, motivation, education from the American urban perspective. I am your host, Shafiq Abdussabur, and I have my co-host, Kingsley Osei. And today we are going to be talking about this post-election. I can't even say it with a straight face without smiling. I ain't smiling because of one. It's just it's this ridiculousness of all of this is that I have to even have a different expression other than, wow, we had an election. This is great. Let's America move. I got to laugh about it. It's almost like a joke in a bar. But at any rate, we are going to talk about the politics of this election. Today is November the 10th. COVID infection cases in the United States has hit over 10 million infected cases reported. That's reported. And the average right now, we're averaging like 100 million new cases a day. And we have roughly 238,000 deaths, COVID deaths. So this thing is real, man. I have two grandmothers in two nursing homes. One is 90 pushing, and the other one is 86 pushing. And I got a chance to go visit my grandmother in South Carolina about a week ago. And the reality is I just have to come to the grips that might be the last time I see her, not because she's old, because of COVID. And that's just the real thing. So hopefully everybody out there is being safe and spending time with your family and doing all the things we need to do to be safe as we get through the next chapter of America's whatever the hell this is. You can join this show live by streaming it on your smartphone by logging on to newhavenindependent.org. You can also hit us up on Facebook at Bold Minds at Facebook or Twitter at Bold Minds. And Kingsley also has a handle. What's your handle, Kingsley? What is your handle?
Hey,
my brother.
I'm looking at Harry's backgrounds. We got all type of stuff going on in the background. We got Bariquas.
Oh my God! Wait, we got that bad. Okay,
no, hold
so
on.
let me get to that, Mike. He's ready to run.
I got to pick on Harry.
Don't pick on Harry yet. We're just trying to tell people how to sign up to the show. You don't pick on. Listen. Hold on. Let's get some ground rules.
My gloves
the ground
are
rules is we don't want
Harry. My gloves are
on. All right. Okay. So the ground rules today is
okay. Let me skip to the script.
So the ground rule here's ground rules.
I'm on so that Kingsley could glow.
Let me skip to the script.
I mean, he's cried for 4 years, so you might as well gloat a little.
It's your time to cry for the next 4 years, right? All right, go ahead.
No, I suffered for 8 years.
All right, so here's the ground rules. So you guys are just tear each other apart on this show. All right, let's talk about the election. But I think that all of us carry a very unique perspective on these election results.
By the way, I did bet you early on that Biden was going to win this election. So let me remind you of that, Shafiq. On the air.
You did.
On the air. By the way.
You did do that. And I think I might owe you. I don't know what I owe you, but you tell me what I owe you.
It was a bet. That's all.
Maybe we should just do it like they did on Trading Places. I give you $1. Like Mortimer, like wait. I got a $20 bill.
Under Biden, you only get 33% of that.
Oh, whoa.
So we got the election results. I just want to set some ground rules with you guys, man, so we won't spar this thing out.
Okay.
I definitely want to get both of y'all perspectives about this election. But I do want to put some information out there that I've been getting as I'm watching what y'all are all watching right there. So the biggest number is, literally we can say like half of voting America roughly voted for Biden and Harris, and half of voting America roughly voted for Pence and President Trump. And I think we can. I mean, there might be some, they said the popular vote by, a couple of million or whatever. But in the scheme of things, half of America won.
About 45 million popular votes going towards Biden. Let's get this straight. That is a mandate.
Right.
Yeah. The
Right.
numbers is not
Yeah, they
So-
still keep
So
finding
it changed.
votes in Philadelphia.
Stop it, Harry. No conspiracies on this network. We don't do conspiracies on this show.
Oh, we don't
Harry.
do conspiracies.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing
But
that.
you
Harry.
were for, but you were
but
for
here's
the
the-
collusion
Harry, we're not doing that.
conspiracy, right?
Harry, you know how to
You
shut
were
my
for the
when
collusion conspiracy?
Harry, hold up. When I had that show
Were
with
you for the collusion?
Harry, listen to me for a second. We're not going to talk over each other. When I did that show with Dr. Dre and my man Van Silk, I told Van Silk when he came up talking about the Ice Cube thing and money laundering, I said, look, we do not do conspiracies on this show. We report facts. We don't do those because I'm always arguing with you about conspiracy. So I could not afford him coming on our show talking about Q being connected with people with money laundering. I said there is no corroboration on that. We don't do those. So I'm not gonna allow you to do those social media posts all over the place about voter fraud. We're not talking about those out here.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to point at you in my box on Facebook.
Yeah, we're not doing those. I'm gonna let you know right now.
Right. So here's the deal. So before the last show we had, I had proposed on the last show before we had the election. I said, if Trump was able to electrify the American voter based on race, he would have a high probability of winning if he could just basically get all the white people that are registered to vote for him, right? He didn't do that, but what he did do, he got 57% of voting white America voted for him. But, and Harry might like this, but he also got 18% black men vote, 38% Hispanic Latino vote. In fact, it is said that he got the highest number of black and Latino votes than any other Republican president in the history of America. Now, somebody might say, well, there was less black people then or less Hispanic people then. I mean, but he did get the vote out. But one thing that I just want to bring, put out there is that he did electrify the white vote. He did definitely galvanize and electrify that base, as use all the code words that are used. The
divide and
majority
conquer.
vote.
The divide and conquer was real. The divide and conquer was real.
Yeah.
I mean, that is real. He's been trying to divide and conquer that vote, and he's been doing it successfully too.
Well, I don't know if so here's what I'm saying. I don't even know if the president, I don't know if we can, blame the president for somebody else wanting to vote.
We're not
a certain way. It's
it's a mobilization. His way of mobilizing votes is dividing us to get a white American to vote. That's what his whole presidency has been about. That is facts. I mean, you could be in denial just because you're a supporter, but it's facts that he has divided the country. He made a calculation that if I divide, make it white versus any other minority ethnicity, we get the majority of the votes. Unfortunately, socially, the world is changing. The millennials are not having it. White women somehow flipped around and voted for him. White men somehow flipped around and didn't vote for him this time. So the question right there, right now, what we're trying to find out is, what is it about white women that voted heavily for Trump?
Him?
That's the question that's out there that we're trying to find out.
I can't speak to that. I can't.
Yeah.
I got Harry, you got anything for that?
Well, the only thing that I would say is because he was playing the urban against suburban
white suburban women.
That divide. So he was telling the white suburban woman, hey, you don't want them creeping into your neighborhood. You don't want, you know what I'm saying? So
and they bought it. He said it and they bought it. Yeah, he did say that. And they bought into it.
So yeah, that is
wow.
That's where he actually got into a lot of white women's minds, that what they were seeing in the cities, all the rioting, he was saying, hey, I'm the only thing standing between that and you. So
and your tulips.
You know,
I'm the only thing standing between them and your tulips.
You know, it's very unfortunate because we've seen general elections after general election when debate was based on policies. I mean, we remember the Obama Dems era with Mitt Romney and John McCain and all those people. I mean, we got substantive policy debates. And if you check out the debates that just happened recently, I mean, you know, we could be as biased as we want. There was nothing coming at me. They were asking questions. Biden was answering the questions. Trump was, you know, under attack. He was going after Biden's kids and all those things that Americans don't really care about just because we have a pandemic going on. Tell us what you are going to do for the next 4 years. Instead, we have a president that was doing a comedy tour, a comedy campaign tour. I mean, literally a comedy campaign tour, people screaming about lock him up and talking about Biden's son. And he just went dirty and threw the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink and everything. So if you ask a Trump supporter, what did you get out of a Trump campaign in terms of policies, what he was going to do, they could not give you an answer.
Well, I could give you an answer. See, here it is.
No, the regular average Trump supporter, the ones out there with no mask on, screaming, lock them up. They did not get nothing. They did not get nothing about policy on that stage.
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you there, but it's the same thing as the average Democrat, the average liberal.
That's not true. That's not true.
They didn't know much of anything. They just knew that they hated Trump.
That's not true. We talked about healthcare. How they're going to take your healthcare away. We talked about pandemic. Why there should be a hold on pandemic in order for the economy to work.
Kingsley,
we talk about everything that we might lose.
Like you just told me, the average one who doesn't know much of anything. This campaign was about hate versus love, and hate won.
No, whoa.
Let me finish. People who hated Trump and loved Trump. Nobody voted for Biden. They voted because they hated Donald Trump. More people hated Trump.
So what do you mean by hate versus love? When you say a campaign was about hate versus love, it basically means...
You guys
hold up, Harry. Your definition have to match with what the candidate was out there preaching. Now, what do you rephrase? I need you to explain to us, when you say hate versus love, let me know what it is about Donald Trump campaigning on the thing when he was really, you know, he was preaching
about
fear.
Motivations, Kingsley. I'm talking about motivation. Your motivation was, I can't live with one more day of Donald Trump in this office.
Right.
I'm going for Biden, not because I'm voting for the senile candidate Biden, who is lost half the time.
But he was also saying that there is a hope we could make America united again.
Biden had 50
and what was Trump
years.
preaching? Trump was preaching fear.
Biden was in office 50 years. He gave you the crime bill.
Oh, come on,
if you don't vote for him, you ain't black.
Let's stop with the talking points, man. Come on.
That's not talking points, Kingsley.
Let's stop with the talking points.
But here's I would say this.
Central Park 5 and housing and all that other stuff. I don't think we
go to the Central Park 5. You talked about 5, Central Park 5, right? Biden gave you the crime bill.
Come on, one-time crime bill. So what?
Hundreds of thousands of black men in jail.
People committed a crime. People committed a crime and had to pay the price for it.
Biden gave you that crime bill, okay? And Kamala Harris, actually, as a prosecutor,
oh, come on. We don't want to hear those talking points,
man.
Come on, man. Stop it, man.
Those are truths.
We don't want to hear. Those things are so behind
us. So I would say this. You know, in the previous election, not this one, the previous election, I voted for Hillary Clinton. And I literally voted for Hillary Clinton, made that decision like 2 minutes before walking into the voting booth. You know, it was like, I was in my car, and I think NPR came on and they did a little show about women in politics and the importance of, you know, breaking barriers. And they didn't talk about Hillary. They just talked. And I was like, you know what? That is true, man. What if that was my daughter? Or what if there was my, you know, what did the slaves after Reconstruction that were trying to get into politics? Somebody's got to try to make a difference. So I voted for Hillary Clinton. at the time because I felt like, you know what, America can make a difference in closing that gap. I got to be honest. Harry kind of hit it. You know, I voted for Biden and Harris, not so much because of what Biden said in the debates, not so much about his policies and stuff, because all these presidents and candidates run with some policy that changes miraculously from day to day after they get inside. I voted because, you know, here you had a woman of color who looks like my wife, who looks like my daughter, who looks like my nieces and nephews, you know, that, hey, maybe, just maybe she'll have, make a difference, right? Give her the platform. And what Harry said, you know, hey, listen, there's a white guy that's president, he's got the country boiling. Okay, there's another white guy that's running for president. He seems to be willing to lower the temperature. If he can lower the temperature, that gives us a chance to put it all together. But there was nothing really stargazing about Biden's policy. And, you know, he even had said it in like two of the debates. He said, America never achieved their goal of equality and things like that for the African American community. He said, we recognize that as America, we have not achieved that and we may never get there. He said, but we never came to a point where we would stop trying. So what he said was, he says, I want to continue the try. He didn't guarantee a delivery. He's just like, yo, I'm willing to do the try. So, you know, there's a fine line that's going on right here. I mean, I'm gonna, in this case, kind of agree with Harry, is that people are like,
when we start talking about Biden not having a policy, I always disagree with that, because people can do the work and go to the candidate's website and all the policies are there. Unfortunately, you're not going to hear everything on the stump speech, but there's always also more information. If you need more information, don't wait on social media to see what somebody is posting for you to reshare, which is what most people, the average person's, what do you call it, is based on, of how they know the candidate. Like Harry was saying, she started talking about Kamala Harris' time of prosecution. And I had a lunch with my brother Steve Nelson, my man Jeff, and my man DJ Santos Monday. And we had a very good conversation about this point, about what it is that we, the Black folks, we are always complaining about what we don't have, how we don't have any Black leader, this, that. And then when we had opportunity for the first African American VP, what did we do? We start sharing the stuff on Facebook floating around about her record as a prosecutor. Now, thanks to social media, before the era of social media, people wouldn't even know this information. People wasn't even willing to go dig for this information. Social media have made it so easy for things to pop up and people see it and make up their mind on it and zoom in right there for everything that historically, just like you said, that this woman can do going forward for us. We almost took that opportunity away, and that opportunity could have been replaced by another old white man for VP and another old white man for president. You see, so, you know, it's really deep. So when people start talking about don't know what the candidate's policy is, I don't agree with it, because you go to that website and you could read everything and we could take it from there to see what he's going to be implementing and what he's not implementing and why it's not being implemented, because Mitch McConnell have already made it clear he is not working with this administration. He's made it clear, just like he made it clear with Obama, except it hasn't come out of his mouth yet, but he's made it clear.
Yeah.
He's made it clear we're going to have a 2.0.
Let me just jump in here. So that's an excuse that a long excuse, because I can say the same thing. Well, just go.
What kind of excuse?
I'm saying just go to Trump's website and you'll see the policies. We're talking about what the candidates were talking about, and Biden was basically saying, "Oh, we got to bring back morality." That's it.
No, he didn't, because you watching your side. So obviously you watching your side, which is
I watch Biden very well.
No, you watching your side, Kyrie. We could agree on that. I don't watch your side.
Okay, but listen.
What I get from your side is what Chris Cuomo will be reporting, what all my networks are reporting as to all the the conspiracies coming from that other. That's the only time I know about what's coming from the other side. I could tell you what's coming from our side. Joe Biden was on the campaign. They're talking about why we have to vote because you guys are about to take affordable health care away. That's a policy, bro.
Stop
That's
filibustering. Stop filibustering that you guys are going to get rid of it in the Senate. Stop filibustering. So anyway, so listen, what I was talking about is Biden has been part of the system for 50 years, right? Part of the system. So he's promised a lot of things that he's never accomplished. And here's another thing, right? And not my words, Kamala's words, when she was on the debate stage with him, and she said she was at the bus stop and Biden wanted to leave her at that bus stop because he was fighting for segregation. Okay, those are things that actually happened in this guy's, political career. And you guys want to ignore it. That's fine. But he promised you whatever he had to promise you to get you to vote for him. But you guys didn't even vote for him.
Harry, Harry, you want us to go as far back as 20 years, 30 years. Bro, things are changing.
What are you kidding?
Harry, Georgia was just turned blue.
You guys were talking
Harry,
about
listen
Trump's
to me for a
father.
second. Harry, listen to me for a second. Georgia, bloody red Georgia was turned blue. That should tell you that what happened 20, 30 years ago, we're not going to dwell on it right now because there is
What's not? Because you hate Trump.
Harry, no, we hate Trump for what's going on today, for what he's doing today. Now he's Central Park, now he's Central Park 5, now he's discrimination in housing.
What's going on today, Kingsley? Who's burning the cities?
Oh, right? Come on, man. Harry,
lighting cars on fire.
Harry, come on, man.
What side is doing that?
Harry, look on the back of you. It says Boricua Lives Matter.
What's going on today?
Harry, let me make a thing right real quick. It says Boricua's Lives Matter. The last time I checked, there was no Boricua's life, no Boricua who was shot in the back. The last time I checked, there was no Boricua who was shot in the back. So when we say Black Lives Matter, it's not a slogan that we just...
What are you talking about? That's the most ignorant thing. Go look it up.
No, Harry. Okay, why do you have Boricua's Lives Matter on the back of your joint?
Because I do matter. Are you saying I don't matter, Kingsley?
I know. I'm not saying that
you saying I don't matter.
No. That's like saying
all your racism because you did that the last show.
No. I'm not. No. Harry. Rewind that. Never call me racist. Don't do that. I'm not.
Don't do that.
I'm not. Harry, I'm not about that. Harry, I'm not about that. Please don't. Harry, please don't do that.
Okay,
Harry, we've been. Harry, don't do that.
Okay, go ahead, Kingsley.
Don't. Boricua Lives Matter. People turn out to understand why BLM came in play. Your side says BLM is a hate group. First of all, if there wasn't no black men being shot in the back, there will not be any Black Lives Matter. Let's get that very straight. Black Lives Matter is not a KKK organization. Okay, they came up because we were being shot in the back. So I was just making a joke about Boricua Lives Matter, and I asked you a question. The last time I checked, there was no Boricua.
Go check because you're acting like.
No, nationally there was no.
Boricuas aren't people of color now. Now you're acting like we're not people of color. I think
y'all could have fooled me. Y'all could have fooled me. I thought we were minorities together. That's my whole point.
You're wrong.
No, that's thought we were minority. That's Harry. When I'm picking on people or minority, that's my whole point. I'm like, damn, what's the problem? Together we are all minorities. Why we can't bond together? That's my always issue. That's my number one issue. I'm we are minorities.
I'm with you with a lot of those points. But the people who started Black Lives Matter are 3 Marxists.
Oh, come on. They will go with the labels, man.
There we go.
But the thing is,
my God. Why can't there be 3 educated women who had a passion to fight for?
They were Marxists. They said they were trained Marxists. And they said they wanted to get rid of the nuclear family. That's them, not me. I'm just repeating what they said.
Who is feeding you that information? That's first of all. Exactly.
That Kingsley, you don't look up anything. You just
no, I'm not looking up because if I look up,
you go to Chris Cuomo for your information.
No, if I look up, you know what's going on social media right now? I've been seeing a lot of flagging. People are putting out those misinformation about all this voter fraud stuff.
A lot of flagging by who?
Facebook is flagging them as false.
Facebook and Twitter, right?
Oh, so, now all of a sudden,
and Twitter are deciding.
Oh, Twitter
free speeches, right?
Okay,
Harry. And Twitter are the free speech police.
Okay, Harry. Twitter allowed Trump for 4 years to spew hate and lies for 4 years. Now, all of a sudden, election
I
come.
read a lot of liberals spewing a lot of hate.
All right.
A lot of liberals wishing Trump dead. Wishing Trump dead. I heard a lot of hate from you, Kingsley.
What's my hate? Which was my hate?
Do you hate Trump or not?
I dislike him. And I dislike his policies. I dislike how he treats human beings. I dislike how he.
You don't dislike how Biden treated human beings?
No, hold up. I dislike how he pick on disabled people. I dislike how he disrespect women. I dislike how he call Mexicans rapists. I dislike how he call African a shithole country. I could go down the line of every. I dislike how he's trying to take away what do you call it? Entitlement from people who can put food on their table right now as we're speaking. I dislike him for having a case in court right now for being a rapist. 21 rapist charged legitimately out there. I dislike him. I could go down the line.
You can't say legitimate.
I could go down the line of everything currently, not 20 years ago, not 30 years ago.
You can't say legitimate because Biden has been accused of sexual assault too. Are you saying he hasn't?
No, he hasn't. It didn't go nowhere.
You're saying he hasn't?
It's not in court. It was alleged. It's not in court.
It's
not in court. It's not in court. It's not in court.
The media
it's not in court. It's not in court. It's not in court. There's nothing in court.
You're just
it's not in court. It's not in court.
You heard it like
Harry is
you heard
not
it like
in,
sheep.
Okay,
you don't know anything, Kingsley. You said one thing's legitimate, and the other thing isn't, and they're both
the other
alleged.
one is in court, Harry, because the other one is in
alleged.
court right now. The other one is in court right now as we're speaking. There's a court case where they send our tax dollars, they send attorneys from our tax dollars to go fight for them. Well, okay, your tax dollars.
Wait.
They send attorneys for your tax dollars to go pay for. Now his personal attorney.
My tax dollars are fighting for it?
Of course.
Where?
What do you mean where? They sent the attorneys that they sent to New York to go fight for him.
God, the New York attorney is going after.
No, it's not New York attorney.
And all of that.
They send federal attorneys to go down there to the court. And matter of fact, they rejected them because of COVID, and they got mad about that. All right, he didn't send his personal attorney.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, then
my tax dollars aren't working for anything about rape.
It's fighting for him. It's fighting for him.
But what I'm saying is
let me go to.
They're all alleged. Come on, they're all alleged. Stop calling one legitimate and one not legitimate.
Because one is not in court. Because one is not in court.
The Attorney General of
New York is one is not in court. An accusation is not legitimate. Accusation is not legitimate. It's not in court. It's not in court. If it's in court, it is real.
No, it's not real.
All right, let me jump in here. Gentlemen.
Let the cop tell you that every allegation isn't real. Let the cop tell you that.
Well, they say you are innocent until
let me jump in here.
But it's still in court.
If you're just joining us today on Urban Talk Radio, we're having a fight. Harry's 5.
Hold up.
Kingsley's 5.
Let me show you something. Hey guys, we're not promoting liquor, but what do you see? What do you see?
44?
44.
44 president. Hennessy. I bought this in 2012. This thing is going for $3,000 right now. I felt like damn near opening it for Biden celebration, but I'm gonna let it keep counting.
You better not drop it. It'll be worth whatever it costs.
Google
the
cost of this. $3,000 is going for right now, and I got 2 of them. But I might pop one open with Harry to celebrate Biden win.
I don't drink. So
you don't drink Obama Hennessy, right?
I don't drink. Period. So
I'll get that. So if you just joined us today on Urban Talk Radio 103.5 FM, I'm Shafiq Abdussabur, your host. I have my co-host Kingsley Osei. Our guest on the show is Harry Dross, who is also our producer, but he stepped in today on a request to join us on this hot conversation. And if you have tuned in and it sounds like, hey man, these guys are arguing. These are the conversations that are actually happening in America right now. These are the conversations that, if you allowed bars open in COVID, or you maybe be at a friend's house, and I'm sure there will be Thanksgiving for those who are able to spend it together. Thanksgiving conversation will not be like it was in the past, when the conversations say, hey, we don't talk at dinner, we don't talk about politics, we don't talk about religion. You'll be talking about politics and religion now for a very long time, I think, in race, for some years to come. I don't think we can really escape it. So if you're just tuning in to Urban Talk Radio, you can log on to newhavenindependent.org. You can stream this show live, or you can stream our past shows, or you can log on to Bold Minds at Facebook or Twitter at Bold Minds. So, gentlemen, we got about 30 minutes left in the show, and I just want to talk about some other things that, these are the things that are real. I hate using the term elephant in the room. I think it's a cheap way of just saying, let's talk about the facts. So I'll just say, we're going to talk about the facts. This is from The Guardian, taken from The Guardian newspaper. Americans have bought nearly 7 million guns so far in 2020, more than any other in a single year. And these estimates are from the firearms analytic company. An increase in gun purchases in the first 3 months of corona pandemic was associated with nearly an 8% increase in the firearm violence or gun violence in the United States. That's from Columbia University. CNN Business reports 40% of gun sales in the first 4 months of the year were made by first-time buyers. And this is far higher than the average 24% in the last 2 decades. So that's the last 20 years, and that's the National Shooting Sports Foundation. Gun sales among Black Americans up 58% through November. So up until November, up 58%. And they said that Black gun ownership is unprecedented. From Mark Olivia, which is the National Shooting Foundation Public Affairs, this is what Mark says. We have never seen a year-to-year increase that large in African-American gun buyers, Olivia told CNN News. It is the largest demographic increase we've seen. People that are buying guns today look a whole lot less like me and a whole lot more like the rest of America. That sounds like a dog whistle. About 40% of Americans say they are, or someone in their household owns a gun, and 22% of those individuals, which make up 72 million people, reported owning a gun. So, I mean, the list goes on, and I just, on this one that says the U.S. has 4% of the world's population, but owns 40% of civilian-owned guns globally. 4% of the world's population owns 40% of the world's inventory of civilian guns. Gun sales are up. Pandemic fears due to violence. We've heard police chiefs say it's the perfect storm. It's COVID. It's poverty. It's election anxiety. And now we've got a post-election. 2 days before the election, Walmart released a press release and said
they're going to start selling guns again.
Due to, they put it back up there because they said they pulled all of their guns and ammunition out of the stores because of they wasn't comfortable about the election results. In case there was to be an issue.
Oh, well, yeah.
They didn't want their stores looted.
Right.
And so they pulled everything out. Walmart represents 50% of gun and ammunition sales in the United States. I went to the gun store the Friday before election, one of the largest gun stores in Connecticut. They had no 9mm bullets. They had no 7.62 millimeter round bullets. They only had like 8 bird shot shotgun shells. What in the concept of, if you understand anything about firearms, they literally had no ammunition. They had no 223 rounds. They had some 5.56 millimeter rounds, and you could only get a box of those, which are like 150. You can get 1 box a week.
Shafiq, are you surprised?
I want to go to Harry first.
Are you surprised when the leader of the nation is waging war in our streets over election? Are you surprised about that?
Wait, why should
we be
surprised though? I mean, we have a Second Amendment in America.
No, this has nothing to do with Second Amendment, Harry. We've had Second Amendment every single day of our life in America. And Shafiq is asking a very legitimate question. Why in this period is bullets sold out? Why? Something manufactured that. Let's keep it real. You could give me all the spins you want. There is Second Amendments every single day in America. And that fear tactics always escalates during the election, but it has been bigger now than ever. We haven't even heard about NRA this election at all because they have been delegitimized. We haven't even heard them at all.
How have they been delegitimized if more people are buying guns?
No, they've been delegitimized for the role they play. They've been delegitimized for them for what they do with the money. They have been that's why they're quiet. So they did not even play a role in this election. What has played a role in why these bullets is flying out the store is the question Shafiq is asking, and let's keep it real. Somebody is fueling that.
Who's fueling it?
Okay, you tell me. You tell me people are just running in there for no reason.
Gun purchase has
so here's the deal.
In every category, right? So you have
yeah.
You know, everybody's buying guns, and I'll remind you.
And why is everybody buying guns all of a sudden?
Frederick Douglass said a man's right rests in 3 boxes: the ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box. Okay, that's the fact. And I'm happy. I'm so happy that more and more minorities are going to buy guns, exercising their Second Amendment, because the reality of it is that a lot of times you call the cops, they don't make it there in time.
Is that the most important thing in our life in America?
Well,
like really, let's hold up. I understand even Shafiq.
Kingsley, you have a family, you have a baby. It is important. If at any point you're put in a situation where the cops ain't gonna get there and you're the only thing between you and your family, yes, it is important.
What about the need not to have it? Why is Americans' obsession? Why is Americans? We pay the price for the Americans' obsession with Second Amendment rights. Let's keep it real.
The Second Amendment.
Let's keep it real. Why is that obsession such a, we're not talking about education, how your kids can go to school and have all the tools they need to go to school and be successful and live in a community where he's not even going to need all these stuff that you're talking about. Maybe all he's going to need, if he's really successful, is a security who's going to secure him to the point that he doesn't have to have it. Somebody who is employed to have it. A community where you are so safe that you don't have to worry about why you got to have a Second Amendment right to protect yourself. But no, we disregarding all the prevention. But we are so focused in our need for why we got to have our Second Amendment rights and proof. We got to walk around gun-toting that, yeah, I'm exercising my Second Amendment rights. I'm going to the police station and I'm showing up with my AKs and everything, intimidating. Like, come on. Like, that's the part of the conversation that's left out.
Right. So I think that, part of it is, especially being a former law enforcement, is, you cannot, the foundation of every society or community is safety. You can't plan your life forward. It's very difficult to plan your life forward when you are challenged with constantly worrying about your safety. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's go and have a block party next week. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I don't know. There might be a drive-by. Well, if you think there might be a drive-by and you can't get proper police protection, you're not going to have that block party. Hey, you know what? I'm going to walk with grandma because it's a nice day. We know it's about to get cold, and me and grandma can walk to the corner, down to the grocery store, down to they've been shooting down the block. So when people don't feel safe, and I think that I'm one of those bought guns during COVID, Black people, right? Why are you buying guns during COVID? Why am I buying guns during COVID? Well, one thing I know is the violence is up. Gun violence in urban communities, in the African American communities, is off the freaking chain. We cannot deny that. That is undeniable. Why Black men are shooting each other? You know what? I ain't got time to figure that out right now. What I do got time to figure out is that people getting shot, I need to stay away from those areas, but I got to worry about the shootings that happen in the urban area. Then I got to worry about if I go into a suburban area, is there going to be a mass shooter that's going to creep out? I got to worry about, somebody going to try me because I'm a Black man and they not Black. And they think that this is something that they saw on TV and it's going to go the way they think it's going to go down. And it ain't going down like that.
And people are shooting back at the police because they don't trust the police neither. Because, you know, because when they shoot us in the back, they get away with it.
I gotta think that if somebody listens to the dog whistle and decide that they want to jump in a van and come into the neighborhood or come someplace and start, hey, you know what, it's gonna be like bushwhack, then what? I gotta think about that with all of this stuff out here with defund the police and Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff, that if there becomes real civil unrest, which has been happening in other parts of the country, how am I gonna protect my family? How am I gonna protect my house? So I think that, what I will agree with Harry on this one and say,
when you look at all these
right,
riots, right, the police let businesses burn down, they let homes burn down, and the people are like, nobody was there to protect us, so we're gonna have to protect ourselves.
Harry, I hate that. I hate that part of Harry. Harry, what I don't like is when you guys skip to how it got to that. You see, I don't like that kind of I don't like that kind of conversation because it gets back to a hashtag BLM. A hashtag BLM came for a reason. It was not a hate group as KKK, who was just out there out for everybody, just shooting up the place for no damn reason. Black Lives Matter, the people out there even doing the looting and shooting have nothing to do with the objective of those BLMs. Okay, and those BLM, those looting and all that stuff was also what came out because Black men were being shot by the police, being killed by the police with no accountability. So do not skip to looting and whatever and not address how it got into that. Okay, we can never have an honest conversation if you just want to skip through that. I would always going to be in this disagreement. I do not condone. I don't condone none of those stuff. I'm all about peaceful protest. Matter of fact, I had DJs.
But I guess what I'm saying here. Here's what I'm saying, and I agree with you, Kingsley. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I bought guns because of rioting and Black Lives. I'm telling you, it's violent in America. Period. The violence is real, right? It is real. And here's a point to Harry. Then I'm gonna give a point to you. A point to Harry, to Harry's point that I agree with is, and it's my Second Amendment right, so I don't have to give anybody a reason or an excuse why I'm going out to buy a gun. I don't have to put a precursor to it. I don't have to put a prequel to it. I'm going to buy me a damn gun because it's my right in the Constitution. Whoever don't like it, that's your problem. Go deal with your problem. So, you know, on one end, I think that, you know, as part of what we often are boxed into as Black people is when we go to execute a constitutional right that belongs to us, even if we haven't used it in 10 decades, a century, or whatever, we somehow feel the need to give a commentary to everybody in America so they'll feel good about, well, we showed up and voted in large numbers. Why we gotta talk? Damn it, go vote. I voted because I can vote. I bought a gun because I can go buy a gun. You can buy as many as you want. There's no limit. I think the FBI had put some kind of, if you buy more than 5 or something, they flag you. I don't think they're doing it right now. So if you can go buy a gun and you can own it legally, buy it legally, own it legally, store it legally, and be done with it. But on the other end, to your point, Kingsley, is this. Even if we took the argument, which we're not agreeing, I don't think we agree this argument, even if we took the concept that even if Black Lives Matter was this so-called terrorist group, as they have been trying to be framed as, right? And they're doing all of this looting and things like that. It's still under that concept would not account for why so many African American. Now notice in the report, it did not say Hispanic Latinos. It said African Americans. It still would not account. Why would African, if Black Lives Matter and we really say, yeah, they're burning this down and it's Black Lives Matter, yeah, why would African Americans feel the need to go out and buy weapons then? Because you would almost be like, I don't need to buy a gun. They're already doing it. So something else is happening that African Americans, ex-slaves, the descendants of slaves, buying guns,
And I hope
exercising their constitutional right.
And I hope that decent Americans can be very honest. Have a very, very, very honest. Put your patriotic hat on. Take your partisan hats off, and be honest. Because the question is, why is it that African Americans are running into the store buying guns? There hasn't been. NRA did not play no role in this election at all. Normally, they do it every election just to drive people. There was no Obama going to take your guns away. What drove African Americans out to the stores to go buy? What's real is we know about intimidation. We know about right-wing people showing up in polling stations with guns. We know the president has used his bully pulpit to fuel people to go down there with guns to as poll watchers. And we know they were doing it. Matter of fact, they went to Arizona out there outside where they were counting the votes, strapped up. Talking about counting the votes over here, right, and stop the votes.
But that's after.
Stop the votes counting
what I would say to you
over here. And the question was, why I would say to you out there? People are out there trying to make sure that everybody's vote count, as our democracy, depends on. Why are you out there with your, showing up your Second Amendment rights, using it to intimidate people? Why is that necessary? That wasn't Black Lives Matter.
You waiting for a response from me?
I mean, feel free to respond.
Look, I thought those were ignorant people, right? You shouldn't brandish your gun unless you're going to use your gun. But
that's a good point. That's a good point.
So
that's what it was supposed to be.
So I agree with you there. Those were stupid, ignorant people. But at the same time, it's their right. This is America. It's their right to be stupid. As long as they didn't take action on anything, then it was their right to be stupid. I don't want to take anybody's right to be stupid away, because we'll be actually limiting freedom of speech. And we start limiting freedom of speech, saying what he could say, what she could say, what she can't say, we lose America. So the best thing to do against bad speech is more good speech, which is, I think, what you're trying to do now. But when you say, let's take off our partisan hat, Kingsley, you have to actually take off your partisan hat.
I do take my partisan hat off. I mean, if you listen to Joe's speech, if you listen to Joe Biden's speech, concession speech, if you listen to his speech, you just made a point. You said the way to attack, those things is a positive one. If you listen to Joe Biden's speech, what did he say? He said, for all Trump supporters who didn't vote for me, I'm going to work with you. Okay? Joe Biden, for every attack that came his way about his son and this and that, I'm watching these debates with my wife. Hold on. I'm watching this debate with my wife, and I'm like, why is Joe Biden not hitting him below the belt? I mean, he can go down the line of every corruption on Trump's administration with his case and everything, but he's being hit below the belt, and he still wasn't doing it. It was just recently Obama took the stage, and Obama started going down the line for him. But him as a candidate didn't do it. He didn't go, toe to toe with him, like, go there below the belt thing with him. He took the positive route. Let's be real. He didn't go below the belt as he was hitting. And even Ted Cruz said that, I don't know what Trump is doing. Why does he think that going after Biden's son is going to gain him any vote? It's not going to gain him nothing. Let's talk about something else. Ted Cruz said that.
Yeah, but what are you talking about? Because the debates are over.
No, I'm just making a point about somebody being negative and somebody being positive about it.
Yeah, but Biden has already called most of Trump supporters racist and this and that.
And we're not going to go tat for tat. I'm just saying on the biggest scale. I'm saying on the biggest scale. I'm saying on the biggest scale.
Supporters a chance to
I'm saying on the biggest scale. When he did his speech, he said that, you know what? Let's come together. Period. He said, let's come together. I'm willing to work with you guys together. Instead, what did Mitch McConnell do? He hasn't even congratulated him yet. The man hasn't.
So one of the political analysis analysts, I'm sorry, and some other people, and I'm a belief of this too myself, is that nearly half the country voted for Trump. Nearly half the country voted for Biden. President Trump will have the ability to come back as a candidate for 2020. They said that President Trump, in and of itself, is the most powerful figure in the Republican Party. In fact, they believe that he has a following that is so large and dedicated that he literally could start his own political party.
Definitely.
He literally could start his own political party.
Yep.
And the fact that he is so powerful in terms of his popularity that Republicans will not go.
They won't go against.
They're not going to go against them. So here's where we kind of are. I don't want to say like here we are, but we live in America now that before we had divisions around ethnicity, culture, race, sex, religion, class, different ideologies. But now all of those have kind of been pick a side. You got one side, you got this side. And the ones who voted for Trump, and we can say the ones who voted against Trump. And those numbers of those people are very clear. The race of some of those people, the ethnicity, the religion of some of those people are very clear. So some have come to the point of we now live in a very definely divided America. Definely, we can define it and show the line of division. Will Biden bring that together in 4 years? I'm going to raise my hand first and say, absolutely, positively, he will not bring this country together in the next 4 years because these things that have brought us over into dividing lines are historic. They're 500, 400, 300-year-old issues now that they're there and we're going to have to deal with them. So somebody said, listen, the new America, how we move forward, we just learn how to be divided and live together, and it's got to, so that's just my thing. I want to hear from both of y'all before we close the show out. We got about, according to Harry, 5 minutes. Y'all got 2.5 minutes apiece.
You want me to go first, Kingsley?
Go ahead, Harry.
Okay, so look, the first thing I did once it was called for Biden, I went and on Facebook and I congratulated all Biden-Harris supporters. And in goodwill, I want to bring the country together too. I know it's impossible. It's impossible. It's so polarized that it's really impossible. And I look at, and I have a whole bunch of these. I was ready for Kingsley, but I didn't do it. I was going to put them up, but I have a whole bunch of these. But let's look at Michelle Obama. Who recently tweeted, let's remember that tens of millions of people voted for the status quo, even when it meant supporting lies, hate, chaos, and division. We've got a lot of work to do to reach out to these folks in the years and connect with them on what unites us. Well, the first thing is don't say that the people voted for lies, hate, chaos, and all of that. And that's where she went. Okay. And what I'll say to, I'm using up your time. What I'll say to all the Biden supporters and everybody celebrating, I get it. And that's why I came on the show, to give Kingsley the chance to gloat. I get it. You guys cried for 4 years. I'll give you your chance to gloat. But remember everything you did, everything you said in those 4 years of Trump, and don't judge the people on the other side for behaving just like you. Okay? So if they decide we're going to be the resistance, let them be the resistance, Kingsley. That's what you did. All right. I'm done.
Harry, I'm hoping that when this show is over, I will accept your apology of indirectly calling me some type of racist or whatever.
Or like you said, because you were joking about something about Puerto Ricans. Well,
I just pulled this up, right? I just pulled this up.
I was talking about you being a racist. I just pulled
this up, right? One of my very close friends, who's the manager of Tego. You know Tego Calderon, right?
Don't do it. Don't do it, Kingsley. I'm going to stop you right there.
No, wait. Look. Oh, hold up. Look this right here, right?
Yeah,
this is
Tego Calderon. I know. Listen.
No. I'm showing you something.
Because you're going to do what every white person does.
No, I'm not going to do. I know where you're going with it. I know where you're going with it. I know where you're going with it.
I got a Puerto Rican friend.
I know where you're going with this. You see that? That's my Puerto Rican family right there. You see that?
So you got Puerto Rican friends? Wow.
No. It's more than friends. I'm just letting you. This is on New Year's Day. This is how I celebrate. This is family to me. When I go to the Bronx, this is This is not
Okay,
even.
so you know Tego Calderon, right? So tell me this: you think he doesn't get
Tego
the
calls me.
same treatment? The same
Tego-
treatment you get?
Tego calls me Africa.
Listen,
That's what he calls me.
listen,
Okay,
Kingsley, 'cause
but
you said
I'm
Puerto
not doing.
Ricans don't.
I'm not doing
But
that.
what?
I'm not doing that. I got a Puerto Rican friend. My wife is white. And
You
how
just said-
how do we connect? We
You
connected
just
because
said
we,
you got a
no,
Puerto
no, I'm going to finish it. We connected because we share the same interests. We share the same interest of how she was already fighting for kids in my community and how we were all on the same platform as employment, doing what we do to you. And my whole thing is my anger is all about why we cannot unite. Okay, that if people that knows me knows what I stand for. My anger is why is the country so damn divided? Why can't we all just get along? That's my anger, and I'm hoping that you know what
Slavery. Slavery. That's why.
the whole world feels my anger. Why is the world cheering for Biden? Why is the world not even hearing Biden's policy, but it's cheering for him? One, because they said COVID is out of control. We want to get out of our house. We want civility. We want things to get back together, and we want to unite. I'm just saying.
Spain and all of Europe are counting on us to get rid of COVID. Why aren't they getting rid of COVID? We don't run their world.
I'm just saying.
By the way,
I'm
why
just
is
saying.
China,
Connecticut,
why
no,
is China cheering?
America runs the
Biden
world. America runs the world, bro. That's why they call it the leader. That's why they call it the leader of the
We
free
run the
world.
British. We run the British.
I'm not saying we out there running anybody like that, but we like the police. You know what? The worst part is we are the police of elections around the world, and we have our leader standing in front of our seal, calling our election fraudulent, and that's dangerous.
It is dangerous. When Hillary did it, it was dangerous.
No, Hillary did not do that. We invade countries for fraudulent election. Hillary did not stand in front of our seal and say.
Hillary said
no,
that
Hillary conceded
Trump was illegitimate.
Hillary conceded within 24 hours. Hillary conceded within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, she conceded.
My God.
Harry, good talking with you, bro.
Oh my. Well, this is an indication of where America's going in the next 4 years. Man.
Let's smell those roses. We're smelling those roses while we're still alive.
Listen, next show, I'm bringing on some religious heads, man. I'm getting some religious figures up here, man.
We want 44 back. Yeah.
Hey, also, too, Harry Kingsley just became a brand new father. So, congratulations.
Congratulations,
Kingsley. Thank you, Harry. Thank you.
Hold on, we ran over, right? But let me just start the radio, and we can stay on Facebook all we want. But I gotta shut down the radio.
I got a biracial kid, man. You know, he's gonna have to fight on both sides. So you have no idea what I'm up against.
I hear you. Look, my granddaughter fights. And let me tell you, Kingsley, my granddaughter's a wrestler. She does jujitsu and all of that stuff. And she fights in a Central Park 5 outfit. The spandex, it has the Central Park 5. And she kicks ass and takes names. She's on her third school, and she's the best fighter. She was ranked in the top 5 last year. She's the best fighter, and this is her third school because they asked that she not fight in that Central Park 5 outfit. Because because it's too provocative for the people. Yeah. Okay, so my granddaughter is the little black girl fighting all the boys and white boys and girls. And you see how some of them are scared of her because she gets on the mats with her dreads and she's a little black girl and she's kicking their ass. But, so we are going through it right now also. My family is going through it, and half my family, Kingsley, look like you and Shafiq. Okay, so that's the thing. That's the truth. Our political views are totally different, me and you, but we probably agree. If we take the political out, we probably agree on probably 99% of everything. because I'm with you with all the Black Lives Matter and George Floyd stuff. But when I look at the leaders, that's where I have pause, because I don't believe in Marxism. I don't believe in stuff like that. So words matter to me. And when I hear those types of words, that gives me pause. I don't jump all in for anything.
You probably don't even realize that we get caught up in labels with names. When we get so partisan, we start using names that is being thrown out there. And I had a very good conversation yesterday when I met with Steve Nelson and DJ Santo. We had these conversations, about how names, even in the political world, people start talking about I'm pro-life, this and pro-life that, and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, look, man, all those are political labels, man. We are all Christians, but we don't walk around wearing our religion on our shoulder. So I'm like, okay, you pro-life. Okay, so pull out the
By the way, we're still on Facebook, just so you know.
Okay. So, I get into it when I'm like, look, man, put the 10 Commandments up. Okay, you so religious, pull the 10 Commandments up and let's talk about pro-life. You put the 10 Commandments up, it have, the honor thy neighbor as thyself, thou shalt not kill, this, that, love thy neighbor as thyself. I'm like, okay, if you're religious and you really believe in your religion, then let's keep it real. Pull that 10 Commandments out and let's see which one of these things you abide by. But don't tell me you're pro-life, but when families being separated, you for it, you don't have a problem with it. When kids are being caged, I don't care what party is doing it, you for it, you have no problem with it. But meanwhile, you are all for pro-life. I mean, so this is all political labels. And when we take those political labels off, we can be ourselves and find out what do we really believe in, rather than what's being sold to us just for a vote.
You're completely right there, because there's all, when you bring red and blue into it, the message gets lost on either side.
The reality of the message gets lost.
Yeah, it just gets lost, right? Because I could agree with you with the cages, right? Putting anybody in cages to me is kind of sick, but the thing is that as soon as you attach red to it, as soon as you say Trump did it, right, I could go, well, the Obama administration did it too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
whataboutism comes in.
Right. So we agree, but we can't agree because of the red and blue.
Because of the red and blue.
That's the thing. It's
but
like
the thing is,
like gang colors.
Where I see it is that was something. That was an assault on the Hispanic Latino community, right? We can say immigrant, but there's other immigrants in America that do not have the same experiences of the Hispanic and Latinos that come over the border, right? So the ones who have the struggle trying to get here and not following the traditional or legal path of citizenship, right? That got to come through the border. Their struggle is a whole lot different. And this cage incident and the
Harry,
separation
what Facebook page are you on so I could share it? Hold on your talk, Shafiq. Harry, what Facebook page are you on?
New Haven Independence Facebook page or WNHH Community Radio. And it should be, I don't know if Shafiq posted it right away.
No, I don't think it did. Okay. I got it. Can I share it? Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Shafiq. I got it. Shafiq, go ahead. Finish your thoughts.
All right,
maybe he's doing the same.
Yeah,
we're good because there's no dead air here because we're not on radio. The worst part of radio is when we all pause. But you could
right. Okay, got it. So my point is, here you have a community, something very specific and something egregious, specifically impacting that community, Hispanic and Latino. Those who come across the border, as I said, and go through that struggle, that plight. And then you look on the polls results, and 38% of Hispanics and Latinos voted for Trump. So it's kind of like, I hear y'all argument and saying like, hey, this, and this, but apparently to that community, they spoke. 38% of them said we're voting for Trump. So I mean, listen, it's in the same thing with, it's like, oh, Trump's doing this thing, Trump's doing this whatever, this thing about black people. Well, you know what? More black men voted for this dude than in the history of any Republican. How do we answer to that?
Well, here's
I
the thing.
mean, to me, it sounds like, you know what? It sounds like there sounds like it was
It's a lot of disinformation.
Say it again?
It's a lot of disinformation to me. A lot of disinformation. Because when you keep saying something over and over, I have done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln or whatever, people start to believe in your bull to the point that you start to believe in your own bull. And you know what? We were used to Trump saying stuff that his own, matter of fact, his Fox News started shutting their mic off. Yesterday, they shut the what you call his mic off? McCain, the press secretary. They shut the mic off yesterday on Fox News because she's spewing stuff about election fraud. And they're like, look, you have nothing to prove this thing. We cannot let you spew this thing.
Yeah, we gotta go. There, drop the mic. You gotta go on it. Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but I mean, my point is, it is that more people of color, even in this climate, that's my point. Here's the climate. We've talked about it today a lot. Racism, dog whistles, riots, chaos, the divide between urban and suburban America, the 57% of white America that voted. Why did white women in larger numbers vote? All these different things. We talked about this, right? And it's all, because all this stuff coming from Trump. But Black people and Hispanic people in largest percentage numbers ever in this climate voted for Trump. They voted, so they literally like kill our argument because they voted for him.
And that is to be dissected as to why and how, because the numbers of, we still questioning, if you want to say, what has Trump done for Black people to the point that Black people are still willing? When that whole Ice Cube thing came out about him, trying to make deals or whatnot, I was against it, and I gave you sometimes you have people on Facebook that see stuff and they'll share it and they'll have opinion, but they will not tell you why their opinion is this and that. I gave you my opinion. Yes, I'm Black, and because I'm Black, I'm supposed to automatically support the fact that Ice Cube is meeting with two parties to discuss Black agenda, and I should automatically be waving the flag with that. No, I can't agree with that, because there is a time and place for everything. You have 4 years with an opportunity to present, but you wait until the 11th hour GOTV time to go meet with both parties, or attempting to meet with both parties, while we, the majority in the Black community, are saying that we will not accept this man for another 4 years. You see, so you
Black men
you didn't meet on our back.
Black men voted for this dude, man.
Say it again.
Black men voted for this dude, man.
I'm not saying, obviously,
that still don't tell us why.
Obviously, some people did. So why did some people did? We questioning that, and it's a part of exactly what I'm trying to say. So
did 50 Cent cause that?
No, 50
Cent, Ice Cube, Lil Wayne.
You know what? You never know who's got a platform to use their platform to convince. Obviously, Trump have a platform. 70 million people voted for Trump. So obviously, something that he's been saying over and over and over has been penetrating. Okay? People are showing up at his rallies with no mask. Something he's been saying penetrating. What you call it just called Ben Carson got COVID now. Chief of Staff got COVID now. If you look at Trump, what you call it, election night.
Well, they said Ben Carson don't have COVID. He got corona.
I mean, yeah, okay, so check it out.
You say he got
election night. Election night. If you look at Trump's election party night, nobody had on mask. Nobody. All right. So you got the Mike Pence. You're supposed to be the head of the COVID. All right.
We got that. Listen, Kingsley, we can't get off target. My point is, Black and Hispanic people voted for this dude, man, in large numbers. I mean, we get why everybody else voted for him in large numbers.
I was saying that to say that.
Harry explained that.
I know we got to dissect that, but I was saying that to say about how worse and how people's influence leads to some of this thing. I can be influenced by a hip hop artist just telling me.
So what influenced? Here's my thing. What influenced the Black people? Was it Kanye got 55,000 votes? We don't know who voted for him yet. At least I haven't got the numbers, right? My point is this. Black people in larger numbers voted for this guy.
And you know,
Black people in the largest numbers ever in most recent decades, African Americans, people whose family members were slaves at one point in this country, bought guns at the highest number ever, like in the last 2 decades, before the election. Before people showed up at the polls, the militia groups, before Vice released the militia documentaries. This was happening
because
in
people
March,
got the word. People
April,
got the word.
May.
Remember,
June.
we live in a social media era. People got the word, and the word gets out so fast. People got the word that there will be violence in our streets after the election, no matter who wins. People got the word. That word was out.
You know,
Undeniably.
after the debate, the debate, a lot of the polls showed that it was the first time that African Americans heard some of Trump's accomplishments in the Black community, right? So a lot of them got moved by that.
Mhm.
And when it comes to Hispanics, we are truly not a monolith because they're so split up, right? So you have we're all Hispanics, but you have Mexicans, you have Cubans who worry about different types of, you know, communism coming from their country because they're fleeing communism, they're fleeing socialism. You have Venezuelans who go to Florida, also relocate because they're fleeing socialism, and you had them thinking about the words of Ocasio-Cortez, of Bernie Sanders, and Trump replayed that stuff in their communities over and over. Okay, talking about bringing socialism to
Even though
America.
Biden is not a socialist, let's be clear. I was arguing with the progressive guy, a young man who was in my program once upon a time, and he's very well engaged. Big shout out to my man Mike. He's very engaged in politics, and he is, you know, progressive. They are way on the left, just like, you know, you guys way on the right. And I tell him, he normally say we establishment. I said, look, man, those are labels. I don't call myself establishment. Okay, I said I don't call myself establishment. We are the ones that in the middle. You want to know who real independents are? We are real independents. We're not conservatives and we're not progressives. We just want a middle way where we know that those 70 million people that voted for Trump, they have policies. Those 70 plus 74, 75 that voted for Biden, they got policies that they want. How can we meet in the middle? So I don't believe in, you know, yes, I believe in Medicare for all. Green New Deal, they may not agree to it. There are things that we all matters to us. COVID needs to be taken care of. That matters all to us. Okay, so we can meet in the middle. So I don't go with those label stuff. So you want to know who are real independents without being attached to anything? We are real independents. Now, as far as Trump's accomplishment with blacks, that can be debated. It get fabricated. Yes, they put on a show. He put on a show with their whole pardoning on the you know, on the RNC convention. Like, those things work with some people. It works with a lot of people who was formerly incarcerated. And it's funny because Shafiq, on social media, I see a lot of people who was formerly incarcerated that really support Trump. I really do see them. Every now and then they will engage with me.
Why is that?
You know, like I said, he put on a show, and you know, as much as he takes credit, you got people like Van Jones that fought for the first act. Okay,
Van Jones, who said Trump gave you what Obama wouldn't give you.
That's not true. He wouldn't. No, Van Jones wouldn't say what Obama didn't give you. Just remember.
He said Obama wanted all or nothing.
That is not true.
Trump was willing to negotiate.
Remember that Mitch McConnell was. You'll be surprised how much bill is passed in the House that Mitch McConnell never put out. Yesterday, I was educating my man on this yesterday. I said,
it happened with Harry Reid when the Republicans had the House. It happens with each party. This is what I'm talking about.
No, it's been so ridiculous. Look, man, come on. We don't want to do the whataboutism. You know, Mitch McConnell is all about power. You know, Mitch is all about power. Would you agree with that or not?
As long as Shafiq, this is the thing, because you're more middle of the road, right? And the thing is that you don't like whataboutism, but you just did it. You said, what about when Mitch McConnell did this to
No,
Obama?
I'm talking about
That's
now.
what you did. So this is what I'm saying. As long as you're going, you can't go to your past. You can't go to your past. You can't. We're gonna forget what we did.
No,
but let's look at what you did.
No, what Mitch McConnell did to Obama, what Mitch McConnell did to
As long as
Obama.
you stay blind and denial.
Harry, what Mitch McConnell did to Obama, he's been doing it. Mitch McConnell and the Republican has been all about judges.
Pelosi did to Trump.
You know what? People are mad at Democrats because Democrats bring knives to gunfights. Of course, everybody knows Republicans have been bullies. Yes, Republicans are tough. The Republicans know how to have a bumper sticker.
This is the first guy who was willing to fight.
Republicans know Republicans know bumper sticker.
Usually you get eaten up by the media, you get eaten up by everybody.
And what do we end up with a fight? First guy. And what do we end up with? We ended up with the divided country of America. Divided states of America.
We were divided under Obama.
No, we wasn't. Not this divided.
Yes, we were. That's correct.
I'm saying
no, we were divided.
And you know why we were divided with Obama? Because the Tea Party came in hard and said that we are not going to allow him to pass any policies. Let's be real. Tea Party brought Paul Ryan and the rest of them. And Paul Ryan bounced. Paul Ryan gave their tax cut to the richest and bounced right after that.
Because the whataboutism.
Harry, remember you guys were the party of fiscal conservatism. What happened? When the last time Republicans ever talked about fiscal spending? They don't talk about that anymore because they got a blank check. They gave a blank check to Trump. Y'all were the party of fiscal spending.
Whataboutism, Kingsley.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about now. We're talking about the party of fiscal conservatism. That's what Paul Ryan came for. And he came and dumped a tax cut for riches on us and bounced right after that.
I agree.
I don't remember the last time I heard your party talk about spending. Your party
that's still whataboutism. What are you talking about?
Well, no, it's going on now. I'm just talking about what is going
right now.
What has been going on for the past 4 years is
Harry Reid blocked everything the Republicans try to do. Chuck Schumer's gonna block if he gets in there. You won't even hear from the Republicans. Okay, so that's just the reality of politics.
Well, I try to remind
people. Talking about the red and blue.
I try to remind people.
You're in denial. As soon as you put your blue hat, you get in denial of all the facts.
Because we have been bullied for too long. Democrats have been bullied, and everybody knows.
Give me a break.
You know how you know they've been bullied? They got 3 judges right now. One of them, which should have been Obama's pick. All right, now don't start giving me all those.
That's not bullying.
Don't start giving me all those moving the ball pits because if you want to stick with the Constitution,
that's the Constitution.
Okay, if it was the Constitution, then why didn't he put the votes out for Obama's pick for Kavanaugh? Why didn't he?
In the Constitution.
Why didn't he? Shafiq, you need to step in this. If it's based on Constitution, why did he not put out for votes for Obama's pick?
That's all they have to do. Advise and consent. The Constitution doesn't say you have to take a vote. Man.
That's a bully tactic.
The Constitution doesn't say you have to take a vote.
Y'all don't play fair. I'm sorry, y'all don't play fair. Y'all do not play fair in every one of those.
You don't play fair, but you investigated Trump for 4 years. Okay,
all your
leaders said he was illegitimate.
His people were indicted, and that legitimizes him. All his people that was in people. Harry, did people plead guilty or not?
What?
Yes or wrong? Yes or no?
To collusion?
Yes. Did people plead guilty? Did people plead guilty for playing a part in the Russian?
Paul Manafort pled guilty to something from 2005.
Oh boy.
Okay, you don't have anything with collusion. The Mueller report said there was no collusion.
Let's go down the line. Pull that whole list out. There's a whole list of them. I have it.
We could do a whole show on that, but not.
Yeah.
So I think that one of the issues, and I'm just gonna kind of like pop both of y'all for this, is that one of the things that if there is a shred of the ability for the country to unify, that the conversation that you and him are having will continue to make that divide wide, because it's like football. I look at this a lot like the National Sporting League. We'll sit around and we'll talk about some basketball or football player. oh yeah, A-Rod, and oh well, A-Rod didn't do well. Oh yeah, cheeseburger last night from Michael Jordan's restaurant, and and we're dealing, and we're all in it, but it's not going to change the outcome. Like, you know what? Whatever happened with all of the legalities of President Trump's administration, that's done, man. They're closing that chapter. If we think that Biden and Harris is going to get in there and be like, okay, I want you to go work on why his lawyer got out of jail early, and I want you to go work. Nobody's worth. It's like, look, we are the 46th president. Go in the Oval Office, go downstairs, take a left, go to the room all the way in the back, and go to the other room, hit the code, open up the book to 4,446. Because on that page is telling us how we got 4 years. That's what you get.
Remember when Obama got into office?
That's what you get to do.
When Obama
the
got
country
into
don't even have.
Go ahead, Shafiq.
We don't even have the. We don't have the ability and the energy to deal with that. I mean, think about what you said, Kingsley. Aside from all the other stuff, antics, if you want to call them, we got a real virus. The virus can't be. Is African Americans dying at a higher rate than everybody else? Yes, they are. But nevertheless, people are still dying, and it's a real threat. Mm-hmm. So we got the virus to deal with. Are people starving and hungry and poor? Yes, there are more starving and hungry and poor non-Black people in America than they are Black people in America. Mm-hmm. People in the Midwest is hungry. Mm-hmm. Okay, you got states that just legalized cocaine, methamphetamines, all kind of stuff, because the drug use in those communities are so harsh. White people have for the first time in the history of America, lowest life expectancy rate. These are real issues in America right now that we could talk about collusion. We could talk about all other stuff. We still haven't even dealt with the foreign threat. We haven't dealt with the fact that even under President Obama, we were blowing people up with drones in the Middle East on terrorist stuff. Hello, they got kids. Anybody watch Godfather, or any of the Roman movies where it's like, kill the father, and they're like, you better kill the son too, because I'm not going to be dealing with this dude 30 years from now. So we still got real serious threats out there that we on the horizons we got to deal with. I think that
and there's laws
in America.
There are laws being passed as we're speaking that we don't even know about. That don't even
absolutely. And I think there's but I think there's always going to be laws passed in America, even in your own state, even in your own city that you don't know about, because we, as Americans, sometimes we're only involved when we want to get involved.
Yep.
When we don't want to get involved, we're not involved. And then, like you said, maybe some of us go right to social media and we use that as social footnotes, as political footnotes. Hey, I didn't read the whole book. I went to my Facebook page and shoot, no collusion, right? And so we've got to become smarter Americans. We can't just show up and people talking about socialism. How many people in America even know what the hell the difference between socialism, Marxism, communism? I mean, like, hello, they don't even really teach that stuff like that in high school.
They don't. And
people are like, oh,
when you
talk about socialism.
When you do the man on the street stuff, that you ask people what socialism is, a lot of them think is your life on social media. They have no clue what it is.
Right. You got a bunch of men. You got a bunch of men sitting around tables, sitting around talk sessions, talking about pro-life. You can have a lot of things in life, and you can have a lot of rights in life, and we can be all the things we want to be. But one thing that is not going to happen in our lifetime is a man is not going to have a uterus and have a damn baby. So men, mind your damn business. And you don't, right? It's like women sitting around saying, should guys have balls? Should guys have their balls should we allow guys to remove their balls? If men got testicular cancer, right? And let's just say after the age 30, if you kept your testicles, after age 30, you had a 90% chance of dying by the time you were 40. But women were determining whether or not you could have the right to take them off. And women are sitting around the table like, I don't know, I think he should keep his balls. I really, maybe let him 35. Why are men sitting around the table discussing women's body? Like that right there in itself is I can't even say it on the radio, but that's some nonsense, bro. And we can't even get past the male gender issue around this stuff. And we talking about race, and we talking about socialism, and we can't even get our hands around that. So we got problems.
Let's all put our partisan hat to the side again. Harry, why would you not want a health care for all?
Why would I not want health care for all?
Yeah.
I would want affordable health care for all. I don't want to go down the road of socialism because that leads to the road.
There we go again. Canada have it. Okay, when Canada have it. Look at Canada's population. When you pay your taxes, why don't you want something back for it? You paying it anyway.
Dubai has it too.
Okay.
So I went to Dubai, and Dubai has universal health care in Dubai. So I went to Dubai, me and my wife, and we met. We met with one of the princes.
What's the tax rate? What's the tax rate?
Our taxes is going up anyway. Our taxes go up whenever politicians decide to raise it. Anyway, what do we get for it? We say we just want healthcare for all. You're going to raise it anyway. Matter of fact, under this Republican administration for the past 4 years, we have been in so much debt that somebody's going to have to pay for it.
Watch what happens. Well, look, the debt we're building up now with the care packages for the COVID, forget it. We're never going to catch up. But
no.
Well, it's not just for COVID. Before COVID,
we can catch up if we legalize marijuana. We can catch up if we legalize marijuana.
We're not going to blame it on COVID. Before COVID, you guys passed the tax cut before COVID. So let's not even blame it on COVID. But the one thing that is clear is I'll go past the bushes. Okay, Republican president. Boom, takes us into recession. Bill Clinton comes in. Boom, he gives us a what do you call it? Bill Clinton comes and get us out of it.
That's ridiculous.
No. Let's go down the line. Bush comes in, takes us into recession.
I'm a Clinton supporter then.
Hold up. Bush comes in, takes us into recession. Obama comes, takes us out of it, and have the economy going. Trump comes. He takes over. He's trying to take credit for that economy. And guess what? He's leaving us back into a recession. So the one thing that is clear to me for the most part
that's an economic show. And
the one thing that is clear to me, Harry, the one thing that is clear to me is Republican presidents have been putting us into recessions and Democrats have been getting us out. That is facts.
Okay.
Well, but I think the difference is, I think one thing is too, just as President Trump's defense, that the financial situation the economy is in right now is due to COVID. The stock market had all-time.
And I made it clear, we was in before COVID. He gave us that tax cut for the richest. Right. We was in before COVID.
But the economy was great.
No, it was not great.
The economy was not great. The economy was.
There is a difference between Wall Street and the middle street and the middle America. Wall Street numbers is not the same. Wall Street economy is not the same as the average person whose raise never went up.
Right, but I think here's the other part of it too.
You're completely wrong,
Kingsley. The stock market, right? We can't discount that the stock market is where we trade all of our commodities on. Is a litmus test for one, the value of our nation's wealth, and two, the stability of our economy. You got Fortune 500 companies in there. You got the NASDAQ. You got the Dow. Okay, you got the S&P 500. So you can't deny it. I recognize that on the ground there might be poverty and other issues, but we can also deny the fact that
let's keep it real.
Okay, they are right, but we can't deny the fact that the president, any president, does not control what's happening in an individual city. right? If a state is not managing their money properly, if a state is not handling their finances and their economic growth properly, and the people are suffering there because of their own politics, racism, nepotism, and all the other foolishness, you can't look to the president and go, wow, our people are all poor in Flint, Michigan, and dying from lead poison because the president did something wrong. That's the mayor.
Shafiq, we can't move the
governor.
Shafiq, we can't move the goalposts. Economy on the national level is always based on, the president always carries that weight. He takes the benefit of it if it's good. And if he takes the benefit when he walks out.
It was great.
Right. Let's the thing.
I don't know
Even with the hit that
definition of great was, but Obama's numbers, as is proven, was better than Trump's numbers. So as much as Trump wants to take credit.
Yeah, but you know what though? But you know what? Some people have reported, and black people, in just general conversations, some black people have reported that they became more wealthy or they made more money under President Trump than they did under Donald Trump. I mean, these are real conversations. And you can't deny the fact that the stock market hit all-time highs.
And the average
in fact, after
household,
COVID,
the average household,
I mean, so
under Trump in 3.5 years, the average household increased by $6,000. The average household. By the end of Obama's 8 years, it had increased by just $1,000. Okay, so you can't take that away.
Your numbers are wrong.
No, my numbers aren't wrong, and we can have a show. We can have a show on this where you apologize.
You can't take nothing back from Obama. Obama and Biden came into a recession and got us out of it and left.
Yes, they did. They did. And they did a good job. They did a good job.
Straight up.
They did a good job. Listen,
straight up.
President Obama flooded.
Take that away, bro.
So here's one thing that President Obama did, for instance.
And President Obama put money. Shafiq, one last thing before they did not give him all the money they wanted. Hold up. They did not give him all the money they wanted for the stimulus. They didn't. They only gave them a part of it. $1 trillion. Right? And they still did a thing with it.
But here's the other thing. So okay, and Harry's right. Okay, but here's the thing, right? And I'm not saying good or bad. I got to survive in this thing no matter who. Let's not forget that when President Obama got in office, yes, the country was in a really messed up financial situation.
It was on the floor.
Okay, but let's not forget what he did. Let's not forget what he did. He bailed out the banks twice. He bailed out Amtrak. He bailed out the car makers. Okay, so these is the money that he gave them, which flooded the economy. Okay, remember reports of the bankers on the jets with strippers and all this other stuff, and they were like, hey, you needed to kind of relax. So he did do that. He did influx some money into the community, but a lot of the majority of money in those stimulus packages went to big corporations, right? We under Trump, we got some money because of COVID, which is just a response to a bad situation that nobody could. That's what I'm saying. It was a response to a situation that nobody could anticipate. But I will say this though, Kingsley, is that American savings since March till now, 30%, the highest ever since like the late 1900s. You can't deny that. You can't deny that the stock market after the COVID shutdown, 30% recovery. You know, no one expected that to happen. Which now the people that do finances say, okay, well, we can do an expected GNP growth now over the next couple of years. The stock market's been climbing since now they heard that Biden is going to be the president. So that's our economy. That's how the rest of the world values us.
You can't say that to discount how much money we have been throwing in and we haven't finished yet. Obama did not have that opportunity for that kind of money. They did not. True. They did not.
But he didn't have COVID. He didn't have COVID.
No, COVID had got worse and worse and worse. In the beginning of COVID, he got that kind of money. Obama did not get that kind of money when we were already down that drain. Remember that. Let's keep it real.
But he got money. He got stimulus money to bail out the banks.
My point is,
he bailed out.
My point is,
the car maker.
Yes, it was a stimulus, and it was a stimulus based on his projection of what it was going to do. He did not get it all, and that little bit that he got, he still got us out of it. My point is, Trump didn't get it at the end of how bad it got. He got it in the beginning as it started happening.
Did Obama?
No, Obama got it when Obama got it after.
At the end.
No, you crazy. We were already in recession. We were already in recession.
Soon as we took over office, he got that.
Yep.
got
As
all
As
of
soon
that.
as he took over
As
office.
soon as he took off office, he was
Yeah.
already in a recession. Just the same way Biden is about to do
Yes,
right
he
now.
was. That is correct.
Yep.
That is correct. But here's the deal. Right, here's the deal. One thing is for sure, and I will agree with you, Kingsley, is the man on the ground. You know, I talk to black people, and they're like, I don't care who the president is, because bottom line is my condition don't change on the street.
Right.
You
Exactly.
go to
You
the
hear
street
that.
corner, talk to
Yep.
the dude, they're like, yo, I didn't have a job under Obama. I didn't have this under this. I don't know. I'm out here just trying to survive. But I
Yep.
think the difference is that the same individual that's trying to survive, now they've got to survive ethnically, racially, culturally. They got to also try to survive
That's
in
my
those.
point.
We got to also survive
That's my
in a
point.
system of classism.
Yep.
Because really, you know, I lived in Atlanta for about 5 years after college. And what I found is, yes, there were a lot of black people in Atlanta. Beautiful place. I felt good being around all these black people. But you know what? The black police would still beat the hell out you, just like the white police would. So the police brutality issue wasn't about race. It was about status. You could go around other black people, and if their grandfather went to Morehouse and their great grandfather went to wherever, and they owned property from slavery, and you wasn't part of their circle, you wasn't in their class. So once we get, you know, here's the great American challenge, because they said America's an experiment. I wouldn't really call America an experiment, because the people that came here were not scientists. Okay, they were imperialists, and what they did and the things that they did, that's another show. So, but I will say that what America is, it's always evolving. We are constantly evolving or devolving socially. So, you know, our challenge now is, how do we determine where we're going to fight these battles? Because we can't fight them everywhere, right? We're going to take on racism, and people are starving. You know, well, it's like with the marijuana. Oh, marijuana is illegal. Now 15 states legalize it. Why? Because it's money. Because that's where you get your money from, right? They're talking about it in Connecticut. I talked about it with the legislators now. They're like, we're going to legalize marijuana. I said, and how many black dispensaries are y'all going to legislate to have? How many Hispanic, Latino dispensaries are y'all going to do it based on this is the amount of poor people in Connecticut, and we're going to make sure that this, how are you going to do that? Or is it just going to be some big corporation like CGC, right? That was backed by one of the senators, right? Before it became a whole big thing. Are we going to do that? And then the small person doesn't have access. So then where does the money go? Like you saying, Kingsley, why can't it be about education? Because we've been around since Brown versus the Board of Education, and black people still can't get an equal, affordable education in America comparable to their non-black citizens. That's why. Because you could grow up in the hood and you still going to the hood school. It don't matter how much money coming in from the state going to all the other schools, because you can't get into charter school. That's why.
And what did Biden said? He said one of the first things he's going to do is get rid of charter schools. Okay,
do you know what Biden's first
attack against the minority
community?
Hold up,
I just read yesterday on what Biden's first three priorities are. I don't remember the third one. I know one is COVID. I know the other one was dealing with the college loans. I know that was one of them. I forgot what the third one was.
If they could kill college loans, that would be and that's the thing. Like, you want to really help.
And remember, you
really want to help America.
His wife is an educator.
If you really want to help America,
and
we're gonna see. Listen. I'm telling you, real talk. We're going to, if ever somebody in the rubber meets the road, we get ready to find out. Because you know what? I'm gonna keep it real. America ain't got another 4 years.
You heard what Harry just said?
We gotta get this. What do you say?
I said his wife is an educator. Harry says so. Bessie DeVos know nothing about education, and she was the secretary. All right. Your people are celebrating now.
It's about the unions. Biden's wife is about the union.
Harry, people are celebrating.
They want to get rid of school choice and charter schools.
Harry,
that's horrible.
There we go with the partisan has again. People are celebrating. Regular people.
By the way, under Trump, there's been the highest black home ownership since the 1970s. Okay, so not only did people's bank accounts go up, they also bought homes.
So here's my thing. We got 4 years. I'm sorry. We got 3.5 years to get this right. Here's my hypothesis. Why do we have 3.5 years to get this right? Black gun ownership, Black home ownership, okay, and the increasing of the Black middle class, if you will, Black wealth gain, right? People moving more into wealth, more into awareness. Now, this is not a dog whistle, but home ownership and gun ownership is kind of synonymous, right? Malcolm X said, America is for the landowner and the voter. I'd be interested to see the numbers of newly purchased firearms by African Americans if they own property and if they voted. Because that's something that's saying something about what Harry often refers to as knowing your constitutional rights. You have a right to buy property. That was part of it was amended in the Civil Rights Act of home ownership, where you can buy property where you want. That's number one. The other part of this is, if the country is already divided, which we all agree on, and Trump still has a large base, not because it's a Trump base, it's because he's speaking to some issues that nobody else is speaking to. And he's not going away, and that group has been polarized. Talk about the real stand back and stand by. They will be on standby for the next 3.5 years, waiting for the next round of elections. And when they're on standby, they're not going to be standing by with their hands in their pocket. They're going to plan. They're going to make this thing more effective. They're going to build money. They're going to do these things. And they're going to also have, I believe, as all Americans do in their heart, I hope Biden does maybe bring us together. I hope Biden does maybe help me see things differently. But if he doesn't, we ready to rock and roll. On the other side, you're going to have the
words matter. Do you believe words from a president's mouth matter?
I believe what matters more than words is the action of the citizen.
Okay, no, but you got to start off somewhere. Do you believe words behind their pulpit really, really matter?
I think the words that the president say can be impactful, but I look at that in terms of the person that fires a gun. The gun can be powerful, made by the gun manufacturer. It could actually even be faulty, but it requires the finger action of the individual possessing the power to make it operate. So somebody can sit around all day and talk words, but until you as an individual take action on that, that's your individual action. Where's your integrity?
We can move the goalposts all we want. The market reacts on the words that comes out of the president's mouth. Matter of fact, when Biden won, the markets went up after that. Okay, the markets react to that. The reason Trump did not let us know how bad coronavirus, COVID-19 was going to be was because he did not want the market's reaction on it. Therefore, he said, "Oh, I don't want Americans to panic. Therefore, I didn't tell them."
That's about right.
Okay,
give me that.
So we can't move.
They delayed it.
He delayed it. We can't move the goalposts.
Yeah, they delayed it.
The president words matter.
But I think I don't want to confuse things.
So I'm saying I'm saying the president words matter too, because Biden's first chance to talk to America, he said, "You know what? Let's come together. Trump supporters, you didn't vote for me, but I hear you." Okay. Now, if he came on and said, "F Trump supporters," let's
see his actions.
No, hold up.
Let's see his
if
actions.
He came in and said, "Oh, he's been presiding for
let's see his actions.
His supporters for the past 4 years, so I'm going to do the same." Where does that lead us?
I agree with you.
Now he's got to follow it with action. Now he's got to follow.
All I'm saying is,
because
in the next 3.5 years,
if
they don't get it right,
in the
next 3.5 years,
if he decides to pack the Supreme Court, if he decides to, try to increase his Senate thing by making DC a state, making Puerto Rico a state, making Guam a state, making everybody, if he decides to try to pack the House and the Supreme Court, then don't tell me he's talking to us. Forget about the words. Let's see the actions, because 70% of America, 70 million.
But it was okay when you guys were packing it, though, right? It was okay when you guys were bullying the
Democrats. Those were open seats. Those were open seats. It's not creating
So if it
new
was
things.
OpenC, then why didn't
Those
you
are
allow
totally
Obama?
different
Why
things.
didn't you allow Obama to confirm his job? Why didn't you confirm
Whataboutism.
Obama's job?
Whataboutism.
Why didn't he put no? You because you started the whataboutism. You started you started it. So I'm gonna give it to you.
Here's the question though. The question is, and I agree with both of you, but the question is this: in 3.5 years, if America is having a volatile conversation like this, where will we be as a country? In 3.5 years, if we're having a volatile conversation, we'll be back to an election that is fully entrenched. It will not be something that's mysterious. Oh my God, why did so many people come out and vote? Oh my God. Well, no, it'll be ingrained, hardcore, waiting down to the last wire, and whoever wins, okay, I got the conch. Now we're going to turn this thing the way I want it. I mean, that's the danger of this right now, right? If Biden and Harrison goes out and as Harry's kind of pointed out, and does these demonstratively cultural, ethnic, racial, economic, whatever you want to call it, things, and this other 49.9% sees that as an attack, an assault, a disrespect to them for whatever reason, to their political aspirations, then if they mobilize and then that group wins the next time, do they get a pass to do it again? And if we keep doing this thing, slapping each other in the face each time I change office, that doesn't bring us together as a country.
You know what's the turnoff?
That's just us slapping each other on a boat with no paddle in the middle of the ocean.
Shafiq, you know what's the turnoff? That new voter, those new millennials who came in, they were out there on the streets, Black Lives Matter, we don't like what's going on, who were voting on social issues, not a pro-life or pro this or that, right? We need to remember when we have all this thing floating around Facebook about what Kamala Harris did 20 years ago, what Biden did 20, 30 years ago, they don't care about that. What they care about is what is the issues going forward. Okay, so I hope that time is going to come.
It's not only the young people that care about it.
Well, I hope no. Me, an old head, I care about that too. So when you guys are floating,
and on the other side too.
Okay, so
my point, let's not only worry about the young people.
Okay. Oh no. Oh, of course, me too. Right. So my point is, when I got grown ass people floating this social media stuff around about his voting record 20 years ago, 30 years ago, none of that really matters to that new millennial.
It only matters on the other side.
Who voted for the first time, that wants to know how the country is going to move forward and be united going forward. Is the only thing that matters.
Right, but so, okay, so let's take this into consideration. Let's take into consideration that the white voters that Biden did get, they said he got a lot of white male working class voters that had voted for Trump in the past, but because they felt that Trump did not move the measure for them for jobs and job opportunity growth, they voted for Biden and Harris. There were older senior citizen Americans who Biden specifically went and targeted to win over their vote. He went and he got their votes. In 4 years, some of that senior citizen population may no longer be there. Mm-hmm. So will Biden be able to appeal to the person right now that's, let's just say, 65? Will he be able to appeal to them when they turn 69? That's number one. The other part of it is, if working class white men, if they don't see their situation change, they go back to say, you know what, I'm not voting for this guy next time. Or here's the other thing that can happen, because we know what change is like. We all hate it. I am white male or white female working in my organization, agency, or job. Biden and Harrison takes over. President Biden tells America, Black America, you showed up for me, and I'm going to have your back. You had my back. You go to work now trying to get a position that you worked hard for as a white man or a white woman, and the Black girl got it. Indian person got it. Latino Hispanic person got it. And everybody's chitter chatter. See, I knew this was going to happen when the president comes. And this is starting to happen around the country, right? And the things that Harry talked about, the Senate's PAC, they expand the da-da-da. It is the perception, because remember, 57% of white America voted for Trump. So that's somebody's,
And,
if they're in a room, right?
and
There's two white people that voted and one that didn't.
Here's something that's really
right. With that.
Here's something that's really interesting, because with all Trump losing the election, you know that the Democrats didn't pick up not one legislature in all of the country, okay? And they actually picked up House seats in some Democrats districts. So don't think this is why I said it was a hate versus.
We picked up seat in the Senate.
In the Senate, you've picked up one so far,
and that's even more important than the House. That's even more important than the House.
Listen,
let's keep it real.
You were supposed to.
Let's keep it real.
Senate. You were supposed to win the Senate. It was supposed to be a blue wave.
Shafiq made a point. Shafiq made a point about that. Shafiq made a point about that. He made a legitimate point that tells you that
wave. I'm just telling you that the country is divided.
No, right, but Shafiq made a point about that tells you that Americans wanted Trump out, but however, Republicans voted to get Trump out.
Tread lightly. That is right. It was just Trump that they wanted out.
Exactly.
Tread
So
lightly.
That's the leader of your party. That is the leader. That is the leader of your party. Okay. For me, it's not so much about Trump being out. For me, the biggest deal to me is Bill Barr being out.
He might be the leader of the party. Hey, don't forget. The Greeks got rid of the senators in Greece got rid of Caesar.
The Attorney General Bill Barr is the most dangerous thing to our Constitution.
Hey,
for me, that's what it is to celebrate. Okay, Attorney General Bill Barr to me is the reason why the police are shooting our young men in the back and getting away with it. To me, that's the most important thing to our.
I would say. So here's what I would say. I would say this. Barr is. I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit. Barr is not the reason to this disparage, contact of violence, and use of force between police and unarmed black men. Why?
He's a defender.
Because this has been happening for decades.
I'm just saying,
he's just a person that's there.
Nobody's giving them accountability. The accountability, they're getting off with it. And why are they getting off with it? Because the courts are packed. Harry, they're getting off with it because the courts are packed.
Let me just finish. We have had this police stuff under him, under Obama, under Clinton, under Reagan. This is why we have these rallies. This is why people are burning up stuff.
Exactly.
People are not burning up stuff because Barr is there. You're burning up stuff because they're like,
exactly.
We've been dealing with this for 50, 60 years. But here's my point. But I don't want to get caught on that.
Does that mean it will never be resolved? Does that mean that's what it's going to be for the rest of our life? Does that mean no?
I'm gonna say I hope not.
I hope not.
I'm gonna say I hope not. But I'm gonna say this. In Greece, people were like, Caesar runs Greece. Caesar is the king. But in the end, it was very clear that the senators ran Greece. It is very clear right now that the Senate runs the country. Exactly. Call it what you want.
Yep, call it what you want.
The Senate runs the country. They showed their power.
Yep.
And I'm going to go back to my hypothesis. If they realize that the country can be controlled by anybody, any party, if any party realizes that the real control comes with the Senate, if you want real power, wouldn't that what you focus on? You wouldn't focus on president. You wouldn't focus on the House. You would say, you know what? Put all our marbles in the Senate. That's what we're going to focus on. Because no matter who's the president, right? Because no matter who's the president,
people don't understand politics.
We got this thing under control. We got this thing under control. So if Biden could ever be a grace saver for the country, it would be his ability to show party line unification.
He's done that. He had a
between
record
the
of doing
Senate.
that. He have a record of doing that. He's done that.
No, he doesn't, because he's never been president. He's never been president. He doesn't have a record.
I'm saying He has
Never been president. Never been president.
Remember this.
He's never been the president.
Okay, so remember this. But the president tasked certain people to use the ability. You know why? Hold on, let me finish this. Let me finish this. You know why Bernie Sanders couldn't? You know why Bernie Sanders was not trusted with us? Because Bernie Sanders do not have any type of relationship to go get the votes. Remember, Biden was the one that went and got the votes for the stimulus by going to the Republicans.
Let's try to finish.
Obama didn't even have that relationship. Remember that. Obama did not have that relationship. He tasked Biden to go.
Listen, President Biden never been the president.
You're not hearing me though. He still have a relationship. He have a relationship.
And he's never been the president. Listen, he's never been the president in America this volatile on racial, party, ethnicity, etc. He's got to prove himself. He's got to prove himself.
And we got to go. Shafiq, you're frozen.
Shafiq keeps freezing.
He's going to win or he's going to fail. I hope he wins. I hope he wins this whole.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Shafiq, you need to get rid of that Obama phone.
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up so I could play it in a 2 hour.
All right, so here's it. Gotcha. So if you just joined us today on Urban Talk, I'm talking. Can you hear me now? Yep. If you just joined us today on Urban Talk Radio, this is our extended version, 103.5 FM, WN, from NewHavenIndependent.org. You can stream the show live on your smartphone or log on to New Haven Independent. I'm your host, Shafiq Abdussabur, and I have Kingsley Osei, my co-host, and our special guest, and our dear brother and producer, Harry Dross, joined us live today. And we talked about the post-election results and our thoughts on the future. Everybody stay safe. God bless America. Thank you, Harry.
All
right. Thank you, Kingsley.
Thank you, man. See you later.
All right.